Richard Garfield's dice game King of Tokyo came out in 2011 from French publisher Yellow, and it's been in print ever since. What's more, it's had a number of expansions and promotional items released in the King of Tokyo series, as well as spin-off games that provide similar but different playing experiences. And the newest item in the King of Tokyo family is King of Tokyo Origins, a standalone game for 2 to 4 players. King of Tokyo is essentially a superpowered Yahtzee, where each player is a monster fighting for control of Tokyo. You're trying to get super famous. You're going to roll the dice 3 times on your turn. You keep what you want, re-roll what you want. Again, it's Yahtzee, but more. If you haven't played it before, here's how it works. To start King of Tokyo Origins, each player becomes a monster, taking the standee and placing it in front of themselves to show who they are, and they take the related monster board, which tracks your fame and your health. You start with 10 health. You're young, spry, full of energy, fresh off the farm, ready to go cause some damage. That's what youth does to you. But you have no fame. No one knows who you are. You've done nothing to earn anyone's attention. You want to do so over the course of the game, and as you do, you will gain fame, and if you make it up to 20 fame, success. You win, everyone will never forget you. You win. However, other monsters and events can cause damage to you, and if you lose all your health, go down to 0, you die. That's bad. Don't do that. However, if you can knock all the other monsters out of the game and you're the only one left, you win. So, get to 20 fame, get everyone else to 0 health. Those are the conflicting desires that drive the game. Are you going to focus on attacking people? Are you going to focus on getting famous? Are you going to do a little of both? A little of both may not help you, but it also depends on what other people do in the game. As I mentioned, you're going to roll the dice up to 3 times on your turn. You can keep whatever you want to keep. Wow, how about that? 1 of each. So let's say I keep these 3 to show you examples of things. Keep that. Okay. After you roll, you resolve everything. For the lightning bolts, you gain energy. With energy, you can buy power cards. They give you special effects in the game. This is the cost in the corner. Some cards are a one-shot effect and then you discard them. Others you keep and can use them repeatedly when some certain condition is met or just the time is right. So that's my energy. With the claws, well, Tokyo starts empty. All of you are gathering around the city trying to prove yourself. First player who rolls claws enters Tokyo, attacks. You gain 1 fame because you just launched yourself into the city. Good. Now they're paying attention to you. Hearts let you gain health, but if you're at 10, you can't gain anything. You're fully healthy, can't go higher, except with power cards that will let you go up to 12 at most. Okay, so hearts are good, but not now. Claws are good, but only 1 is necessary to get into Tokyo. Numbers are good when you get 3 or more, or you have cards that let you do special things with them. 1 number on its own, nothing. You get 2, nothing. But if you get 3 of a kind, you gain that much fame. Not 222, but just 2. So if I had this, for example, I get 1 energy, I get to go into Tokyo, I don't gain a heart, but you now understand how hearts work, and I get 2 fame. If I had 4 2s, I get 2 for this and 1 for this extra one. So 3 fame. So if you get 3, 4, 5, 6 of a kind, great. You're going to earn fame. Doesn't help you attack Tokyo, doesn't help you attack other people. But again, depends on what you want to do. Sometimes it depends on what comes up. So my turn is over. Let's say Ironback goes next. Okay. Ironback is outside of Tokyo. I'm in here now, all the attention's on me, you get a little jealous, maybe you want to come in and play as well. So you keep claws, maybe you keep the energy. Oh, that was a claw as well. Well, now I got 3. All right, that's where we get. Ironback again, full health, can't do anything, gets 2 energy, and causes 3 damage to me because I am now in Tokyo. Ironback's coming in trying to get attention. So I lose 3 health. Okay. Hearts can help you regain health, but not while you're in Tokyo. All right, that's a little indicator there. No hearts in Tokyo because you're busy causing damage and being attacked. Your attention is fully occupied. You cannot rest and recover. After someone attacks you, you can decide to leave Tokyo if you want. Then on your next turn, if you get hearts, you can heal. But if you stay in Tokyo until the start of your next turn, you gain 2 fame. So I get to decide, do I want to stay in the spotlight or not? If I say, fine, I'm going to stay, now Gigarex goes. What does Gigarex do? Well, didn't cause any damage. Maybe Gigarex has something else in mind. Sure, they'll keep that. 3 fame, 2 damage to me. I'm now down to 5. I've lost half my health. I still have Mechmaster to come after me in this imaginary 4-player game. And then when it's my turn, I'm still in Tokyo and I still can't gain any health. Will I be alive? Will I be able to stick around that long? Let's say we just stay. And now Mechmaster goes. And it's got 3 3s. We'll keep that. Third roll. There we go. 4 fame, 2 damage to me. I'm down to 3. On my turn, I get 2 fame. And now it's my turn to attack. If I'm in Tokyo and everyone else is outside, which they have to be because there's only room for 1, if I do any damage, I attack all of them and damage everybody. Unfortunately, oh, I know what I can do. There we go. This. Sure, we'll keep that. 5 energy. I'm going to use this 5 energy to buy this card where I don't lose hearts if I decide to yield Tokyo. So I get 5 energy, I spend it immediately on this card, I do 1 damage to everyone else. This card's then replaced, my turn is over. Ironback goes. Okay, hearts do nothing. This does good things. They can damage me. I'm at 3. All right, let's do this. Sure. They get 2 more energy. They do 2 damage to me. At this point, I could go down to 1, but maybe I want to yield. Ironback goes in and gets 1 fame. I'll come around to my next turn. Hopefully I can get some hearts to heal. Maybe we got some other things here. This rapid healing. Okay. For 3 energy, I can buy this, and then anytime I want, I can spend 2 energy to gain a heart. And this can be used to keep me from dying. So I can just pile up the energy and wait till I need to spend it. And if I don't need to spend it on this, I can use energy for something else. This immediately gives you 5 fame. So if you hold on to this, all you need is 15 fame, and then boop, you're at 20, done. Take another turn. That's good. Especially if you're in Tokyo. You get to damage everybody. And you take another turn and attack them all again. Maybe you can send everyone out of the game at once. You're going to keep taking turns this way until you meet one of the 2 victory conditions. And that's it. Somebody wins. Getting famous, getting everyone else dead. You can see some of the other cards here. You have 1 extra roll each turn. Okay. Good or bad? Well, it depends on what you're trying to do and what the goals are. When you roll 3 1s, you get 2 extra fame. Okay, 1s are not great. Others great. So you can spend 2 energy on your turn to flush the cards and turn up new ones. If you don't like what's there, if you're looking for something particular, maybe you need health, maybe you're close to the fame threshold, not there yet. You may use 2 as a 1. All right. Combine that with this other one, where 3 1s get you extra fame, and now 2s and 1s can get you extra fame. Or you can change one of your dice to a 1 each turn. They combine together. They work in special ways. Or they're just super powerful ones. Spend 2 to not lose hearts this turn. Similar to this one, except this only works if I'm yielding Tokyo. All the cards are unique. There are 14 cards in King of Tokyo Origins that have not been printed before, but their powers are akin to what you've seen. There's an overview of King of Tokyo Origins, which is King of Tokyo. If you have played King of Tokyo, you have played this because nothing has changed in the gameplay. Only small elements, such as this box being only for 2 to 4 players, whereas the original King of Tokyo game is 2 to 6. Correspondingly, it has only 4 monsters. It has a different colored dice than available in any other King of whatever game. It has 14 new power cards. It has a smaller box, partly because it has less stuff in it, but it is correspondingly cheaper, and that is important because the final detail, the thing that is really critical, is that King of Tokyo Origins is for sale exclusively in the United States at the Target retail chain through the end of 2024. At some point in 2025, it will be available at other retailers, but for the next 10 and a half months from when I'm recording this, it's Target only. I've written about Target a number of times in BGG News, and Target often approaches publishers and asks them to create an exclusive item that will be available only at Target. So the Ticket to Ride First Ride game, exclusive at Target initially, and then it was released elsewhere. Target is going to come to a publisher and say, if you can make this for us, something that is more specifically tailored to the target audience of casual gamers, something less expensive perhaps, or geared for people to jump into immediately. Cool, we'll buy tens of thousands of copies, possibly hundreds of thousands. And a publisher, no fool, is like, yeah, we can make that happen. And then you get something like this, or Ticket to Ride First Ride. Why not? You're reaching out to a new audience of people who are much more likely to pick up a game for $30 than for $45. They don't know that they're missing anything, and they're not really missing anything by not having this up to 6 players with 6 monsters. The board in the original King of Tokyo is slightly larger than the original. It has 2 spots here, so with 5 and 6 players, then 2 people can go into Tokyo. These 2 will attack everyone outside, everyone else attacks these 2. You know, you can draw a circle on this if you want. You can make other monsters. They're just a standee and a dial. You can use pen and paper and whatever, figure you want, some miniature, some Lego character, that can be your monster. And then you can play with 5 and 6. Nothing changes. So that option is available to you if you want it, but if you haven't seen the game before, you don't know that. And it's no big deal. The whole point is you're reaching out to a new audience, again with a less expensive item, and then if they play this, ideally they're going to go find something else. Probably at a hobby store, because Target will probably just sell that and nothing else. But then they can go out and they can get the King of Tokyo Monster Box, which has the original King of Tokyo game, plus the power-up expansion, plus the Halloween expansion, plus Baby Gigasaur. So it's got 10 monsters in here that are new. It also has an element that does make the monsters unique, makes them more than just a standee and a dial, and that is evolution cards. Each monster has its own deck of evolution cards that gives it a personality of sorts. When you roll certain numbers, you can draw 2 evolution cards, keep one of them, and now you've got something secret that only you can do. And each deck is somewhat different, and you keep it hidden until you use it. And they will be keep or discard similar to the power cards, but again, it's just for you. So each monster now has a little bit of a personality. That's a barrier to get into the game, or a bit more than people need when they're initially playing. King of Tokyo did not have evolution decks originally. That was introduced in the power-up expansion. And then there's been other spin-off monsters. You got Cthulhu and Anubis. There's 4 monsters along this line where it's a new monster, it's a dial, but they also have the evolution cards for King of Tokyo and evolution cards for use in King of New York, because that was a spin-off game that had a board, it had different elements in it, and so there's slightly different cards for slightly different gameplay. But if you don't have the evolution decks, then you can use any monster in anything. So lots of things that are open, but if you have this entry point, then people can jump in and then ideally expand out into that other world. Like, what else is there? There's Baby Gigasaur that's separate. If you don't get the monster box, you already have King of Tokyo. Here you go, just a monster, evolution cards. You have this even more wicked expansion where it gives you a new way to use low die numbers, You move up this track, and then you're going to draft powers. And you get something else available. I mean, ones are no good. If you can roll ones, twos, or threes, you're going to roll threes because you get more fame. There's otherwise no difference except once you start drafting power cards. And then there's something. Or you use that expand, the even more wicked, or you use the evolution cards. Then it gives you a little something more to do with things. Actually, the evolution cards are when you roll hearts. So it gives you something to do, even if you're in Tokyo. You roll hearts, which are useless, but now you can get evolution cards. And if you're outside Tokyo, you gain life and get evolution. So win-win. So those elements change the game a bit, but otherwise, superpowered Yahtzee. Roll things, smash people, gain fame. Do what you want. It has new power cards. Are they essential to the game? They are not. I mean, once you get it to a certain number of power cards, more is kind of superfluous and doesn't really offer you a different play experience. I mean, you have this deck of cards in King of Tokyo Origins. You're not going to go through all this in a game. You might go through this many, maybe half, possibly. So you get another half that's not even explored. So if you have the base game, you're not going to go through all of those every game. You're going to have a different experience just because of what you see. And in theory, you could go out and hunt all the power cards available because there are different ones in King of New York and there's different expansion ones. And I think there's been convention-only ones and other sorts of promos. And the ones here, there's all sorts of stuff out there. There's some in the monster box. And in theory, you can make a whole deck that's unique with one of each. You don't have to. Once you get to a certain number of power cards, more is kind of superfluous. I can't even say it. I'm so overwhelmed with the idea of all those unnecessary power cards. I mean, you have variety in the game, but you already have variety in the game. And at a certain point, it feels like more variety is icing on a cake that just gets to be too much. Like, why? Why hunt for more power cards than what you can reasonably go through? And even, it's kind of nice to have a deck where you know the cards. I mean, I don't know the cards in King of Tokyo, and I've played that 20 times. So I'm still somewhat surprised when I see things because I haven't memorized everything. I know some of them where there's a card that will let you get an extra die or add more hearts or do, lots of damage at once to everyone. There are certain things that you know are in the deck, and you could actually dig for them if you want. By building up energy, you pay 2 energy, you flush the cards, turn up new ones, and maybe you can dig through and get the thing that you desperately need to keep yourself alive in a certain situation, or attack everyone and just wipe them out and finish the game. Once you get to a bigger deck, that happens less often because you can't dig as much and find the thing that you hope to find. So those are good and bad elements. You have variety, but variety is not always ideal in terms of the game experience that you want. Sometimes you're just going to flip up cards and they all cost 5. And you're like, oh, okay, I can't do anything until I get 5 energy. Or they're all 7. Meh, it's kind of a bummer. You want that deck which will have the sort of fixed arrangement, and so you get this crafted experience. You don't necessarily need all of them in one deck. You don't need all the monsters because, again, it's a standee and it's a dial, and you could just do something else if you want to make your own monster and add more to the game, or just do your own. It's kind of a cool little element. It's a feature that ideally is a bonus, but not something that you necessarily need to chase. Because Yellow had a first edition of King of Tokyo, and then it had some promo monsters, and then some of them got switched into the second edition of King of Tokyo, and other things were retired and no longer available. There were monsters that were released only in particular countries. There was ones released for conventions or tournaments that you would get if you participate, or one that's specific to Canada, or one specific to Germany, France, whatever. And so you'd have this neat thing that's kind of a bonus that's not available anywhere else. And maybe you trade for it with other people. And I send you the one from Brazil, and you give me the one from France, and so on. You can expand your collection. But again, it's just this cosmetic element that's just kind of a cool bonus thing. Ideally, not something that you spend a lot of time and money chasing down, at least from my perspective. There's roughly 100 monsters in the King of Tokyo series, so that'd be a lot of work to search them all down. BGG has participated in that. We had contests where people would make up monsters and others would vote on them, and it's like a, March Madness tournament. You get down and eventually you get a winner, and then it's produced. There you go. Another thing available that's standy in a dial. So it's interesting because Richard Garfield, designer of King of Tokyo, also created Magic the Gathering. You've probably heard of that. Biggest trading card game in the world. I think Pokemon is arguments with that. But anyway, the original idea that Garfield had for Magic the Gathering was that people would probably just buy a few decks, a few of the original boxes, 2, 3, 5, maybe, and that's it. So you would see a very small number of the rare cards available in the game, and even the uncommons would not be that common. So you would play someone and you would see the cards they have, and it's stuff you had never seen before. It was more this mystery environment where you don't know what you're going to encounter. It didn't work that way because people bought a ridiculous amount of Magic. I worked at a game store in 1993. I did the same. So yes, I know that's not what happened. But the idea was it would be this discovery process where you find new things and encounter stuff you've never seen before. And now you play someone and they beat you with this new card and you're like, okay, now I've seen it. Now I can prepare. Maybe I swap my things out in my deck. And now you again have this new experience. You slowly become familiar with the world. And I kind of like that model of discovery more than knowing everything that's out there and then just having it all. I don't know. It'd be kind of neat if you made your own monster. You brought that to the table, craft it and personalize it yourself. There's nothing stopping you from doing that. All of which is to say that King of Tokyo is a fine game. If you already have it, maybe you don't need this. You can get it for a friend, someone who's played the game and likes it but doesn't have a copy of their own. You can get this, and then you can experience those new cards and those new monsters, the new look of everything. And it's in someone else's house, and they can enjoy it as well. If you haven't played King of Tokyo, it's fun. I can recommend it. As long as you play with the right spirit. I played with some people who are really calculating, and they roll the dice, and they're working out probability for what they need, and this, and the other, and everyone else around the table is just... take your turn, please, especially when you get to 5 or 6 people. Ideally, it's just dice, dice, dice. Done. Attack, kill, buy, move on. Someone else. It's more of a rousing party spirit because it fits the nature of the game, because you can get knocked out extremely early. You go into Tokyo, a couple people hit you, and you're just like, I can stay here. And then someone gets 5 or 6 claws, and you're just done. You're out of the game and watching everyone else. Much more of a party style feel than a real thoughtful strategy game. You're giant monsters slugging it out, trying to kill other people or become famous. Enter the game with that lizard brain, and you'll probably have a blast.